All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back here with a 10-game breakdown for DraftKings tonight in the NHL streets here. Coming off a big night last night for some of our members over here. One of our members took a top three finish, third place for a nice $1,000. The hat trick from Mikko Rantanen dropped him out. Unfortunately, I mean, anytime a skater goes off for 50 spot on a 5-game slate, you pretty much need him to ship any sort of tournament, but still an amazing run using my core last night with some Jack Hughes and things like that. So overall was a good spot for sure. Looking to kind of build off of that and smash here tonight. We got 10 more, so double the size of the slate here. If you guys can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, helps us out a ton. I'm going to pull up the matchup sheet here and talk through just the matchups first before we jump in and talk game by game. As you can see here up on the screen, there's some pretty good spots overall. The Jets and Lightning game, I think, is a pretty interesting game. Jets, obviously, the best team in hockey so far this year. I don't love this game from a DFS perspective. I think this game plays more kind of like a tournament-style game, but I like the Senators quite a bit. They got a pretty good matchup here for sure. The Devils-Panthers game, I think, is interesting on both sides. The Rangers, obviously, the talk of the slate, right? Going to be mega chalk at home. They're one of the best teams in hockey and now facing one of the worst teams in hockey, right? The Sharks. So don't mind that. The Stars I like quite a bit here at home. I like the Sabres and Blues game is kind of interesting. I think that game kind of goes crazy. The Wild going to be pretty popular for sure. Good matchup here at home against the Canadiens. I like the spot a lot for Edmonton at home here. Edmonton has been very underwhelming. As you can see, the worst home scoring team in the entire NHL over their first 9 home games here on the season. I think that changes here tonight. I like Edmonton kind of break out here quite a bit. Vancouver's been playing good as of late. I just don't like the spot a lot for Vancouver, even though they're heavy favorites at home. Pettersson's playing better. Pius Suter's playing insane right now. But I just like other spots more. And then the Kraken late night hammer spot against the Blackhawks I like quite a bit too. Just hard to kind of pinpoint what where the scoring is going to come from the Kraken side. But let's jump in. Let's talk game by game, talk some of the skaters here on the slate. First game on the slate here I like quite a bit here. Love these Senators at home. I just think this is a good spot for them here. Senators look like the better hockey team so far for me throughout the course of the season here. And looking at the numbers, the Flyers on the road this season, bottom 5, bottom 6 in the league in terms of goals against, expected and actual. They do have a really good penalty kill, but they're also facing the best home power play team in the entire NHL in Ottawa here. So if I'm going to Ottawa, I want the power play guys just because I think anytime you're giving up about 4 chances per game, you're killing off 9 out of 10 of those penalties. But when you're facing a squad that's cashing in almost 50% of their power play opportunities in Ottawa here, I think one's got to give here. I hope it's the defense side from the Flyers. Urson's not a great goalie by any means for sure. I think the Senators can get to them quite a bit. So I like Timmy Stu. I like Josh Norris, Brady Chuck, Bathbaum here, and Sanderson. You can definitely play Ridley Grieg. Claude Giroux's been great all season long. If you want a nice little stack here, going the second line with Timmy Stu, Bathbaum, Giroux, and then add in a Chabot who's good play down at the goalie or a Sanderson, get you full line correlation there, and you get power play correlation as well. We kind of cover both power plays, right? Don't mind that, but overall, love the top power play guys here from Ottawa. On the Flyer side, just Konechny for me or Scott Lawton. Scott Lawton, solid value play there. Konechny, he's in play every single time he's on the slate at 7,100. I mean, the dude's one of the best two-way wings in the entire NHL. Don't mind him at 7,100. But for me, it's the Senators side in this one. I like Linus Ullmark too at 7,900. He's a little bit cheaper than kind of those top-tier spend-up goalies. and he's coming off a big game that I talked about the other night when he shut out Toronto on the road, which was a fun, nice little leverage play there. Jump to the next game on the slate here. This is the game I talked about already. Best team in hockey facing a pretty solid team overall. I like both the goalies in this one. Connor Hellebuck, 7,800 is my preferred just because the Jets obviously are just absolutely insane team this season. This could be a spot where we see the second loss come from the Winnipeg side. Tampa is tough at home. Vaz is an amazing goalie at home, but for me in this game, it's Hellebuck or it's Vasilevsky. I probably prefer Vaz here, just more at home. He's going to see more shots than what Hellebuck is going to see, and he's at home in a game that Vegas has as a pick'em. I could see Vaz at 7,600 put up a nice score here. It's always tough playing a team or a goalie against Winnipeg this season. They've kind of punched you in the mouth every time you've played them. If I were to go to anyone on the Jets side, I mean, Scheifele's playing great right now. Kyle Connor's coming off a massive game. But it would be more the value guys, the Ehlers of the world, the Villardis of the world, or the guys like a Perfetti, a Nemesnikov, a Nino Niederreiter, those kind of guys. Neil Pionk as well. Don't hate that. And then a great value, Dylan Sandberg. This dude plays a ton of minutes, going to block a bunch of shots. 3,300. Don't hate that. But yeah, I'm kind of under on this game overall outside the goalies from a DFS aspect. Jump to the next game here on the slate. We have the Devils heading into Florida to face the Panthers here. Bobrovsky's going to be in net. Markstrom's going to be in net here. I like the Devils in this spot. I think this is another good Devils spot here. Panthers been dealing with injuries. Barkov back does help the squad quite a bit. He's 7K. You can play Barkov anytime he's on the slate. But I'm seeing a lot of ownership going to these Panthers here. I like going to the other side. I like Markstrom in GPPs at 7,500. And then I am going right back to the well with Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. That two-man stack is one of my favorites. You can pair them up with a guy like Dougie Hamilton if you need, or at 2.7K, a guy like Andre Palat. Doesn't see power play time, but he's basically stone minimum skating next to Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, who are playing out of their minds right now. But realistically, love that two-man stack with Jack Hughes and, Jesper Bratt. There on the Florida side, really not a lot of interest here. I mean, you can definitely play them. They're going to get played. Carter Verhaeghe, Matthew Tkachuk are good options there. And then obviously Barkov is a solid play too. They're going to get ownership. I'd rather fade that ownership. I will say Uvis Belinsky's here. 2.7K, stone minimum, basically getting top power play time for the returning Stanley Cup champions. He's going to be one of the best and chalkiest value plays on the entire slate. He's fine. Don't hate him. It's just I like punting the D position. So you can definitely punt there, but just expect some decent ownership going to them overall. Next game on the slate here. This is the top stack of the slate for not just myself, but everybody. Rangers, very good this season. Very, very good at home. Now faced one of the worst teams in hockey in the Sharks, who Blackwood is their only hope. I mean, if Blackwood stands on his head like he can and has done a few times this year, they have a chance in this game. If not, the Rangers probably score 6 here. Love Zibanejad. He's too cheap. Chris Kreider's way too cheap. Zibby and Chris Kreider are just absolutely ridiculously priced. And then you got their other line made at 3,600. This is just kind of crazy. I mean, it's realistically insane pricing. Zib at sub 6K with hat trick upside. Chris Kreider, his power play specialist at 5,400. That's ridiculous. Riley Smith at 3,600 getting power play time. That's ridiculous too. You got Adam Fox down there and Jacob Trouba. Two fine options. If Zach Jones is stone minimum right here, getting power play time, that's a pivot off of the Florida guy at stone minimum from a defensive standpoint. Don't hate that. If you want to get off the kind of Zibby chalk, going to the other line, who's been the better line all season in Trocheck, Panarin, and Alexis Lafreniere, I like a ton. It's more expensive. You got to pay more for it, but that's why the ownership is also down. There's tons of value on this slate. You can make it work. So I really like the Vincent Trocheck, the Artemi Panarin, Alexis Lafreniere. You can add in a guy like Jacob Trouba too to that stack. But overall, yeah, Rangers, not much else to say. I will say Celebrini and Granlund, two solid one-offs overall. If you want to pair them with Toffoli, you can definitely do that. Or a Barclay Goodrow at stone minimum. he's a great value wing option. Liljegren's still getting top power play time at 3,100. You can always play that. But, yeah, definitely love the spot here for the Rangers. Shesterkin, going to be probably the chalk goalie on the slate. I don't love it. 8,500, that's a lot to pay for a goalie that kind of needs a shutout here in a spot like this to pay off. He's just not going to see a ton of volume overall. So he needs to really avoid giving up a goal or 2 goals to kind of hit the optimal, in my opinion, on this big of a slate at that price point. So for me, love the Rangers line 1 and line 2. Line 2 with the Trocheck, Panarin, definitely going to be lower owned than the Zibanejad line because it is more expensive, but it has also been the better line in hockey all year for these Rangers so far. Jump in the next game here, the Blues and the Sabres. This game could be a track meet. Neither of these teams are very good. Sabres give a slight edge to them at home, but at this kind of ownership, I just don't want to go and play the Sabres here at mega popular ownership here. I get it, they're at home, but looking at the numbers, the Blues been decent on the road this season. They're due for some positive goal regression here. Their actual goals for is about 3.7. Their expected goals is under 3. So some regression coming, I think, here for the defense and for the goaltending. If you want to punt goalie in GPPs here, Binnington, 7.1K, had a great game going on Tuesday night and then slipped in the third period, which was pretty hurtful. But going right back to them to leverage some of this ownership here that you're seeing on these Sabres, I don't mind that at all. If I were to actually go to a spot in this game, it'd be on the Blues side here. I like Braden Shen quite a bit. He's playing good right now at 4,200. Buchnevich is still super cheap at 4,400. You compare him with Neighbors and Kyrou, you get a fully correlated cheap stack against the Sabres, who can absolutely go south in a hurry. So I think Buchnevich, Kyrou, and Neighbors is a pretty interesting stack in tournaments. Nobody's going to go to them, and it's 4,400. 3,300 and 6,300, all 3 correlated on the top power play. You can throw in a guy like Justin Falk, and you get a 4-man line 1 power play 1 stack at very low ownership, and it doesn't break the bank. You can play it with the studs, so I like that quite a bit. My interest is definitely on the Blue side in tournaments over the Sabres here, for sure. I will say Rasmus Dahlin, 6,400. Solid spend-up D-man on the slate. He's probably going to be the most popular spend-up D-man on the slate, but at 6,400, he's got a lot of upside there. But like I said, in tournaments, really like the Blues over the Sabres for sure. Next game on the slate here, Stars and Boston here. I like the Stars a ton here at home. Stars are another absolute wagon. Love these Stars quite a bit. They scored 6 goals the other night in the first period. 7 goals in total. They're just an absolute wagon here. This Boston team has just not been the same this year as years past, defensively for sure. I really like the top power play here for the Stars. Wyatt Johnston, Rupe Hintz, Robertson, Jamie Benn, and Miro Heiskanen coming off a massive game at 5,200. Still got a nice price point there. The Bruins killing off just 70% of penalties on the road this season and give up the most penalties per game. So love the Stars here. I want the power play guys. Don't worry about cross-line correlation. I don't mind that. But Johnston, Rupe Hintz, Robertson, Jamie Benn, and if you really want it, I mean, going to a Wyatt Johnston, a Robertson, Rupe Hintz, and Jamie Benn, you get 2 guys on line 3, 2 guys on line 1. All 4 of them correlate together on power play 1. Don't mind that at all. But yeah, Dallas is 3 lines deep. You can play all 3 lines, lines 1, 2, and 3. Love them all here, but really want to focus on kind of that top power play here for the Stars side. Ottinger, great goalie option at 8K. He's probably my favorite goalie, 8K or above here tonight for sure. Jumping to the next game here, Wild at home. Second heaviest favorite on the slate here, facing Montreal coming to town here. Montreal is due for some regression. I mean, anytime your actual goals against number looks like north of 4, means you're obviously not a very good hockey team defensively. You're giving up a ton of goals, but their expected goals is about a goal and a half, almost less than what we're currently seeing. So there is some regression coming. Does it come here tonight? I'm not sure, but Wild, I think, are a good option. I'm not seeing a ton of ownership go to them despite being a massive favorite. I mean, X going to pick up some ownership. Kaprizov's going to pick up some ownership, and Faber. Don't mind that 3-man stack. But outside of that, I mean, guys like Freddie Gaudreau, who's been great, third liner, He's going to have no ownership. You can play him with Ryan Hartman and Foligno, and that's a very, very cheap secondary stack who they play about 14 to 16 minutes each, and they've been good. So don't hate that stack there to get off some of the ownership. But overall, I'm kind of under on the Wild a little bit here. I just think they can kind of steamroll this team. Don't really need to push the pace too much here. And I like some other spots more, but Wild definitely crack my top 6 for sure if you're going to them, which I noted in the slate plan for sure. Jumping to the next game here, Edmonton and the Preds. This is my second favorite stack of the night here. Love the spot for Edmonton. I like that their ownership's being held in check here. Smash spot for McDavid, for Leon, for Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins at 4,400 is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is a bust-out breakout spot for Nugent Hopkins. He's a slam dunk here for me tonight at 4,400. He plays tons of minutes. He's been an amazing player last year. And now nobody wants to play him at 4,400, skate next to McDavid and Hyman on that top power play as well. Bouchard coming off the absolute nuke. Love this top power play here for Edmonton. McDavid, Leon, you can play them together to get unique. Hyman, Nugent Hopkins. I love Edmonton one here with McDavid, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins. Throw in a Bouchard if you want to. Throw in a Nurse or an Ekholm, both great options from a D standpoint. But yeah, Edmonton smash here against these Preds. I think Saros gets lit up here for sure. No interest really in the Predators side in terms of DFS. You can always play a Forsberg, you can always play a Roman Josi, but I think Edmonton wins like 5-2 here, something like that. I see a big game coming from the Edmonton side. Next game on the slate here, the Islanders and Vancouver here. I got some questions in chat asking about Vancouver here. I'm going to be under on Vancouver. I'm seeing them pick up a lot of ownership here. Islanders are actually still a solid defensive hockey team. Sorokin's a good goalie option here tonight at 7,300 against some of the chalk in Vancouver here. I will give it to Pettersson. Pettersson's starting to turn it up, which it was hard to not turn it up from where he started the season. He started the season looking like an AHLer. Now he's picking it up. He is a very good hockey player overall. Jake DeBrusk is playing good right now. If you want to stack, you can pair him up together. Pius Suter's playing out of his mind right now as a value play. But I think Vancouver gets beat here tonight, or not get beat, but I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what the spread indicates at minus 180 for Vancouver here. I'd rather take a stab on the Islanders at plus 150 here because I think the Islanders could easily win this game personally. Overall, Lankinen's a decent goalie, but again, Vancouver just doesn't historically play a ton of defense. So give me the Islanders in this game. If I were to go to a spot for DFS purposes, I like Nelson. I like Palmieri. I like Maxime, that second line, playing good right now. Pajot at 4K, still a great option and value play there. You can get a nice, fully correlated stack in Horvat. Anders Lee and Pajot still super cheap and no ownership there. So overall, underweight on Vancouver for sure. Don't love the Islanders, but definitely probably prefer the Islanders in tournaments over Vancouver here tonight. Last game on the slate here, late night hammer spot. It is a very good spot here for the Kraken. The only issue is you got to figure out who's going to score for the Kraken. They can just do it so many ways. I mean, there was a game where they scored 6 goals earlier this year, and 4 of the goals I think came from the defenders, 2 from Montour, right? Riker Evans, things like that. So I like the Kraken a lot. I prefer them more as a mini stack just because scoring is so spread out. Really like the price point on Chandler Stevenson and his role. This dude's playing over 20 minutes. He's 3,500, one of the best value plays on the entire slate. I expect him to be decently popular. You can pair him with McCann or Eberle. Like that quite a bit. Bjorkstrand's playing great right now. He correlates with Stevenson on the full line strength. Jaden Schwartz as well. So if I were to pick a spot, I'd probably prefer kind of just going to the power play option here. Blackhawks give up the most or second most high danger chances in the league. Give up about 3 penalties per game and kill off about 75% of those. So if I were to go to a spot, probably be some of these power play guys, Chandler Stevenson being my favorite option, followed by probably Jared McCann. But Bjorkstrand at 3,600, still solid option there. Montour is always a great option for sure. Riker Evans still a good value option. Olisiak, Larson. You can't go wrong with any of these Kraken defenders. They all play over 20 minutes. They're all heavily involved in this team for sure. On the flip side, Donato's still a good value from a center at 3,900. Don't hate that. Foligno still a decent value. Vlasic, 3,700, still a solid value. Seth Jones is a contrarian spin up D-man with tons of upside at 6K. Don't hate that, but definitely like the Kraken here late night's hammer spot. But that's all 10 games here. Talk through where I'm looking at. But if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're not a member yet, go to shipitnation.com. Click this banner right here at the top of the screen. Gets you $85 all access pass. Includes our Shiptimizer. Includes all the sports here. The Stone, which I just walked through. We have the Stone available for every sport. And Showdown for NFL for the Stone, which there's massive prize pools tonight. If you want access to that, again, use that promo code NBA15, or just go to shipitnation.com, click this monthly all access here. It'll automatically bring it down to $84 a month. But hopefully everyone kind of crushes tonight and all the sports going on. I know there's only one NBA game, but we got a nice showdown game here, division game with Philly and Washington. Should be a fun game watching Daniels and Hurts go back and forth. But good luck tonight in those contests. I hope to see those Ship Nation logos at the top for myself, Nadesify. Let's ship it.